How do we fit consciousness or thought into the world as described by physics, the world of space and time, matter, particles, forces, and so on? How does consciousness fit into that? I'm Tim Crane. I'm a philosopher at the Central European University in Budapest. I work mostly in the philosophy of the mind. I'm interested in questions about consciousness, about the nature of thought. I've also written about metaphysics, nature of reality in general, and I've written a little bit about religion as well. I have a view about the state of play in the mind-body problem today. It seems to me there are two large questions which aren't really distinguished when people are presenting these questions about the relationship between mind and body. The first is about the nature of the physical world and how the nature of the physical world makes it difficult to see how there can be such a thing as consciousness or thought. How do we fit consciousness or thought into the world as described by physics, the world of space and time, the world of gravity, matter, particles, forces, and so on? How does consciousness fit into that? So that's one broad area. The second issue relates to the brain and what we know about the brain, and how what we know about the brain relates to what we know about the mind. So this is more narrow than just thinking about the physical world as such. We're not asking the question, how does the mind fit into the physical world, the world described by physics, but what's the relationship between this few pounds of fatty, white, runny stuff in our heads, this yogurty substance in our head? What's the relationship between that and thought and consciousness? We know a lot about the brain. We know a lot about how the brain works at the level of its cells, the interactions between the cells, and we know a lot about the overall structure, the physiology of the brain, what the functions of the different areas are. There's still a lot to learn, of course, but we know a lot about those things, and it's fascinating. But we seem to draw a blank when it comes to answering the question, how is that related to thought and consciousness? How can that be the seat of consciousness? And yet we feel it must be.